to forget the 2010 Grand Final, when Swan Districts beat hot favourites Claremont by a point in the Grand Final. But Swan Districts also thought that 2011 was going to be their year. But unfortunately, due to injury and some off-field changes, Swan Districts finished 8th and just avoided the wooden spoon. 2012 is a better season, and coach Greg Harding is looking for a better season on and off the field. What are the obvious differences that you're trying to do to change things?
Pretty simple, really. We got ourselves as fit as possible after 2010 when we won the flag. We had a pretty easy pre-season. We obviously had a long season that year, and we wanted to ease ourselves into 2011, and it just backfired on us, and we just went in really underprepared. And we just sort of thought to ourselves this year, we've got to get ourselves as fit as possible. So that's the first thing we did.
It must have been disappointing for you. You were injured as well for a little bit of the season, but you know, to come from such a great height and then to sort of, you know, not be playing as well as you thought you could, was that really difficult for you?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we certainly weren't expecting it. It wasn't part of our plan, and yeah, it just everything went wrong for us last year. And as I said before, our fitness wasn't up to scratch. Mentally, we weren't prepared, I don't think, and we had a lot of injuries. So yeah, it all transpired against us last year.
Do the players think they can get back to the 2010 stages?
Yeah, you probably don't think about winning premierships at this stage of the year. You just think about you know, getting through pre-season first, putting yourself in a position to win early games, and then you see where you go from there. But we certainly think we can improve. We think we've got a pretty good squad of players, and we think our depth this year is a lot stronger than what it has been in the previous years. So we think we can improve.
Was there any thoughts that you might be able to put maybe 1 or 2 premierships together with that squad?
Yeah, look, obviously with Brian not being able to continue on in 2011, we had to make a change, and Greg was the choice of the board, coming up from a full-time role at the club as a development coach in the Colts. But it's always hard, I think, coming up and taking over a team that's just won a premiership and being a new coach and sort of trying to impose your own style on there without trying to change too much from a successful team. But, you know, we had a few injuries, but we definitely didn't perform up to expectations. So overall, it was a very disappointing season for us.
Claremont have prevailed. Good win by the Tigers.
It's a commonly used phrase these days, but did you suffer from a premiership hangover?
No, absolutely. I think that, you know, the players probably rested on their performance a little bit from 2010 to 2011. I think you become the team that everybody wants to beat. I still think Claremont were obviously the best team in 2010. It was just that we happened to roll them on the day. And I think that, yeah, a lot of pressure. I think a few of the boys might have rested on their laurels a bit, and plus we also had a number of injuries to key players.
What steps have you put in place so that the same thing doesn't happen this year?
Well, the club's appointed Tommy Bottrell as a CEO, and Tom's obviously had a long career, life member of South Fremantle, and has thrown his career into being a full-time football administrator. We've had a couple of changes to the board. I think we've got a lot of checks and balances in place for a club to make sure that we know where we are financially. We're going to have to be very stringent over the next 12 months in regards to our spending and following budget procedures. But going forward, I'm very confident that the club's financially sound. The club's financially sound now. It's just that, you know, cash flow is going to be an issue over the next few months.
Have you kept the faith in that squad that just didn't step up to the plate last year?
Yeah, with some of them. You know, some of the players will be really tested for spots this year. There's a lot of depth. I think you'll find, look, I'd be surprised if our reserves team didn't finish in the top 2 or 3 in the competition this year. I think it's got a lot of depth, a lot of talent, and so there'll be a lot of competition for spots in our senior team. So guys are going to have to earn their spots, probably not like they have done over the last couple of seasons even.
Greg, how would you best describe Swan District's year in 2011?
Disappointing. It's the first one that springs to mind. It never got going. Yeah, dominated in a lot of games and lost a lot of respect in the competition.
Did you or the players ever lose any confidence?
Without doubt. You always do when you're losing games of footy, and At half time we were in a lot of games and we lost those games, so you lose that ability to probably fight back from adversity as well. So look, we all lost confidence, and it's been a big pre-season to try and regain that confidence.
Because no one would have predicted that you've won the grand final in 2010 and the next year you finished second bottom.
I think 85 years of history, wasn't it, to finish bottom, and we just avoided that by a couple of percentage points, I think. So, look, it was really disappointing, but it has given us really good focus for season 2012.
Could you have called it a premiership hangover?
Without doubt. It was part of the problem. You go to the top of the mountain and you have a bit of a look around for a while, and that's what we did for probably 6 to 12 months. We had a good look around from the top, and pretty soon you fall to the bottom of the mountain, and that's exactly what we did.
Are you confident you can change things around in 2012?
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. I think the one positive out of that entire season was the fact that it gave us a real acute focus on the things we needed to improve on. And we needed to improve our fitness. We needed to get that hunger back to win games of footy. And we've been able to do that. We've had a really strong pre-season. We believe that we've got a quality squad, and we believe that we can actually regain the respect of the competition.
Can you say you've learnt a lot from last year, and what would some of them be?
Some of them would be not take anything for granted. We thought we had a good squad at the start of last year as well, and then all of a sudden, poor attitude, lack of fitness, possibly a bit of a hangover, and it went pear-shaped pretty quickly. So take nothing for granted when you're playing good football. Not to take, good form is winning form, and not to take that for granted as well.
Is it a final this side?
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. I think if we can play at our best, we can keep our best players on the track. I think, it is a finals team.